Hi everyone, it's Carissa at Sprinkled with Glitter, and I am here with a birthday card for you today. I know I've been kind of missing in action for a little while. Life has just been busy, and so I can say no more than that, we've been very busy around here, so I'm hoping to get back into the swing of things. It's summertime around here, and everybody's home. My husband's a teacher, and so the children and my husband are home, and I'm still working. I'm a nurse, if you don't know about that, but I am a registered nurse. I work in the postpartum department at my hospital, so life just gets busy around this house with raising 3 children and, you know, all the things that go with that. So, with that being said, I will jump right into this card. I am using a bunch of dies from Lifestyle Crafts today. These 2 dies here are from the Nesting Circles and Nesting Pinking Circles. This is the Pennant Punches die, and these dies over here, all these little pennant shapes, are from the Tape It kit. And their It kits, Lifestyle Crafts It kits, are some of my favorites of their entire line because they have great little shapes, and a lot of them are the perfect size for card making. So I've been seeing these layered kind of pieces that are pre-made. I think either Studio Calico or October Afternoon makes these, you know, like little banner pieces. So I thought I would just kind of make my own, and I've chosen to use this Echo Park Everyday Eclectic paper pad for this. And so I'm just going to pick out some patterns from this little pad here and kind of make a fun little layered die cut birthday card. And this is going to be a little bit different than the layered die cuts you saw before. So I've been through my paper pad, and these are the patterns I think I'm going to use here. I'm going to use both the A and B side of this particular pattern. I have some of the blues and the pinks that I'm mixing together, and then taking a cue from the other, kind of the B sides of some of these others, I brought in some craft and some gold because, you know, lately I just cannot get enough of this gold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut various shapes from these pattern papers. This one's actually a stamped piece, as well as this one. And I'm going to take those over to my die cut machine, get those cut, and then I will be right back with you. Okay, I'm back and I have all of my pieces cut here. I've cut this piece here. This little gold glitter is actually a piece of the American Crafts glitter tape that I've been using a lot lately. And this is some vellum. It cuts all of these very nicely. This is cardstock, a heavier weight cardstock, and I've actually cut felt with these dies as well. I have some videos in the past showing that. But you can see how nicely these all cut. And they work with all of your leading die cut machines. So if you're concerned with that, don't be. They do work in a Vagabond, a Big Kick, a Big Shot. I know that they will work in the Cuttlebug as well as the Evolution, which is a Lifestyle Crafts die cutting tool. So now what I'm going to do is, and I'm sure you've probably seen this trend around, is I'm going to start layering up these die cuts. And I'm going to start sticking them to this piece so that they have something to kind of anchor to. So I'm just going to take my tape runner here, and I'm just going to add some tape runner to the back of this. And I'm just going to start kind of arranging these how I think I want them on underneath this base piece. So I'm going to pay attention to what layer I want on top of what, how long I want everything to hang down. And then once I get it all positioned on there, I can put my kind of anchor piece over the top of that. Okay. So I have that just all positioned where I want it, and I'm going to go ahead and cut the top of these leftover kind of pieces off here. And what I'm going to do is, in order to, because they're very just lightly tacked on there right now, I'm going to stick a little bit of adhesive under this one right here. But because they're so just gently tacked on there, I'm going to take this over to my sewing machine and add a line of stitching, and I'm going to use some gold thread to do that, just to bring in the gold in another place. So I can, you know what, in fact, before I even trim that, I'm going to do the line of stitching across there. So I'm going to run this over to my sewing machine, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back and you can see that I've stitched that down and it's far from perfect. It's not even straight, but that's okay for me because it adds to that handmade look. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and just tack, oops, I'm out of adhesive. I'm going to change this out. Okay, so I'm just going to tack this down here, these little strings on the back. And this is just my quick fix for not having to fuss with these strings, just to keep them out of my way. You're not going to see them on the back anyway, so I figure might as well do what's quick and easy as far as dealing with these. So I can get these strings out of the way and then I can trim down my die cut pieces. Okay, so you can see how this is taking shape, and this is actually going to be the focal point of my card. So there's not going to be a whole lot more that goes on front of the card besides this. I am going to use some dimensional adhesive to attach this to the front of my card, and this is the Sticky Thumb foam squares, and I'll just put it behind. Now because this piece is vellum, I want to make sure that I keep my adhesive out of the side of that from the front. And then when I get this tacked onto the front of the card, what I'll do is just kind of turn some of these ends up and kind of wrap up some of the edges of this. But what I'm going to do is take and stamp my sentiment piece now. So this is going to go on the front of the card just like this. I'm going to be using a Simon Says Stamp wood grain cardstock base for my card. And so I don't know how well you can see that texture on there, but there's the wood grain base. And so I don't want to stamp directly on the front of this because I'm probably not going to get a very great impression. I'm going to be using the Hero Arts Mini Birthday Messages stamp set, and I'm going to be using this Wishing You a Very Happy Birthday. Now this is one of those cards that could be really used for anything, and so all you would have to do is change the sentiment or maybe some of the papers to make it work for the occasion that you're planning it for. So I'm going to ink this up in the Delicata Gold ink, Golden Glitz I believe it's called. Lovely. And that's a pigment ink, so it'll need a minute to dry. So I will go ahead and let that dry for just a minute, and then I will start attaching this to the card base. And what I'm going to do is just kind of add these here. And then I feel like it needs something across the top there. So I'm just going to cut a little small piece of this coordinating paper and just put it along the top of there. Okay, and then for this little tiny sliver, I've gone ahead and attached this. And for this little tiny sliver, I'm just going to run my adhesive along the back of this. Now you're going to see a little bit of it stretch off, and that's okay, and it's going to get on my work surface, but that's okay. When I pick this up, I can run my fingers just along the edges here and take off that extra that's overlapping, and then I can attach it to the card base. I'm going to add a few of these enamel dots, and I think I'm just going to kind of vary the colors between some of the pinks and the blue, and so I'll just stick these on here. And the way I like to kind of pick these up is using a paper piercer. And so I'm just going to kind of scatter a few of these on the card front along this banner piece. Alright, so I have my little enamel dots on there, and then I'm just going to take the ends of these banners and kind of work the paper just a little bit, just to kind of give them a little bit more dimension. Maybe rough up some of the edges of the circle. Now this circle is actually overlapping, and if you need to get it in an envelope, what you can do is just turn the card over and snip off those ends. I'm not going to worry about it right now. I'm not sure if I'll be mailing this in an envelope or not, so I'm just going to leave it as it is for now. And I'm just going to kind of rough up the edge of this circle a little bit, just to kind of give it some dimension as well. And there you have it. This is super easy and fun to create and a great way to use up all that paper that you've been hoarding in your craft room. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to head on over to my blog at Sprinkled with Glitter, I will have links to all the products I used in this video. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.